Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you're enjoying the content. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity, and there are 47 real-life asexual stories in this book. As you can see, each story has got its own individual chapter. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Don't forget, I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Oh, tonight's episode, yes! I was shocked. This was random, right? So I'm going to start from the beginning on what actually happened, because today I actually got asked out on a date. Yes, he said the words, I want to ask you out on a date. And this is what happened. So I came out of my home today. I had a really important appointment to go to in the city centre, which was like for an hour and a half. I was going for, right? Really, really long. There's something there's something in the UK called the Citizens Advice Bureau, which you can go to for help, right? So I went to go to my appointment. I hadn't been long out of my door, and literally this person came past on his bicycle, and it was really weird. This guy came past on his bicycle, rode past me, and instead of just carrying on going past me, he purposely, on his bicycle, right, not motorbike, not moped, I'm talking about bicycle, he went into, he cycled into this place that literally it's a car repair shop. It does car like repairs, MOTs. It's a garage for selling cars, right? Well, for doing cars up and MOTs and all that lot. And he had a bicycle, right? So I thought, what the heck is he doing? He's coming up beside me, and literally he's going in where the cars are on his bicycle. Bicycle we're talking about, not motorbike. And he's going round the car place, you know, just in there and doing a U-turn. And then I realised he was looking at me. I thought he must have seen me from the back. And if he's a sexual guy, which I'm assuming he is, he probably thought she's got a nice backside. She's got nice hair and nice back. And then I want to see more of her. So that's why he cycled into the car place, came around and looked at me. And so I thought, this guy must fancy me, because he's purposely gone all the way in there. I can't see why else he would go with his bicycle in a place that does MOT on cars, right? So he came out, looked at me purposely, and then went across the other side of the road, the opposite side of the road, where the traffic's coming the other way. And he literally stopped his bicycle outside this old people's home, right? And I'm thinking, that's really strange. Why would a guy all of a sudden, like, do a U-turn, look at me, because I think he fancies me. I think that's what it was, and be over that. I wonder if he thinks, because there was a crossing I had to cross, that I wonder if he's thinking about talking to me, right? Because he fancies me, right? Because why else would he be outside an old people's home all of a sudden when he wasn't going that way originally? This is across the other side of the road. He wasn't heading that way, right? And I'm thinking, unless he's got an elderly parent, like a mother, or maybe his girlfriend works there or something, I just thought it's really strange, right? So he was positioned literally outside the nursing, but next to the curb, like where all the cars were coming. It was bizarre. So I went across the crossing and then walked past him, and he looked at me, and I said hi, and he said hi, and then that was it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you obviously didn't want to speak to me then, because that was your opportunity to, if you'd have been hanging around there to speak to me. So I just thought, that's it. He must have a girlfriend or something or other. So I carried on. I walked all the way to the end of the road, was about to cross the crossing, and he cycles up right next to me. And he said, oh, hi, I was going to ask you out on a date. So I was right all along that it was because he fancied me and he was going to ask me out on a date. Well, I didn't know he was going to ask me out on a date, but I thought he was just going to say something to me. But that's why he was outside the nursing home, because he was trying to work up the courage to talk to me. And so literally he said, oh, I was going to ask you out on a date. He used the word date, and so how would you like to go for a coffee? I live in the same road as you. And I'm like, well, I've got to get to an appointment. I said, but I don't like sex. I'm asexual. And he said, I didn't ask you for sex. I asked you for a coffee. And I said, yeah, but I know it'd lead to sex. So in that case, no. You know? And he goes, oh, I'll probably see you again sometime. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because he's saying he lives in the same road as me. So that was it. And it was really weird. I'd say he was about 42, so he's an older guy than I'd usually go for. He wasn't like clean shaven, but he was a very strong guy. Like, he looked like he worked out the gym a bit. For his age, he probably had a really nice physique, lots of women would think. And so he seemed like, I didn't pick up a bad vibe from him, right? I picked up he was a decent guy, even though he's heterosexual. You know, I picked up a good vibe from him, like he's an adult guy, a strong guy. And I thought, this is good in the sense I am attracting guys. It's nice, you know, guys are noticing me, random guys are noticing me, because I was really, really walking very confidently today, because I've got a really, you know, I like this, right? I know this is what I was wearing, so minus the denim jacket. So I was wearing this top and this skirt, right? Now, for sexuals, I mean, I'm not sexual, I'm asexual, but basically when sexuals look at this, right, they see my boobs, it's just true. And, you know, when they see my back, they see my backside. And so this curve, so it doesn't matter if you're a bigger girl, right? If you're a girl, woman, and you've got bigger body features, it's how you show them off. So they like curves, right? So even if you're bigger on the tummy a bit, you know, so long as you're curvy and showing off your beautiful body in a really nice way. See, I'm clearly covered up, aren't I? But you can still see all my curves. Like, that is what guys like, really. You don't have to be super skinny, like, you know, in the movies. You don't have to be super skinny to get guys attracted to you. It's all about owning your sexuality, owning your body, owning your beautifulness, owning your confidentness. You know, so long as you're really confident, you wear clothes that you feel great in. Because I like this, you know, I'm not a skinny girl, but I still think I look good. I like the, you know, the fact that, you know, it feels nice on. I think it's tailored to my hips and curves really well. And so, you know, you can still be very, very attractive, even if you're not a skinny or thin person, you know. And I think it's really important that I tell you that, you know, because there's so much portrayed in films and movies that these really super skinny, thin girls, and every guy fancies that, and, you know, that's what you've got to be. And, you know, I'm clearly not, but, you know, I've got other assets and features that guys love, you know. I mean, it's hard, obviously, because I'm asexual. I'm not a sexual person, but clearly my body to a guy would be quite a sexual object, I guess, because of the way I'm not, you know, like, I'm big on the top as well, do you know what I mean, in a clingy t-shirt. So it's like, you know, my body's quite a sexual thing to sexuals, if you know what I mean. But I'm asexual, so obviously I would love to attract more asexual guys, you know, but it's hard when, you know, not many people pop up and go, hey, I'm asexual. And so, you know, but I did tell this guy, I told him outright that I didn't like sex and that I'm asexual. I thought, I don't know what else to say. I've just got to come out with it, because there's no point in me going on a date with him expecting that at the end of the night, because, or expecting that in a few dates in. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. But what the really, really weird thing was, right, I was talking to my mum on the phone. She actually had an accident later on today, and there was an ambulance out to her, and I've been over there this evening. She's very she hurt her face. It's smashed up from falling on a rock. Luckily, she's all okay as she can be, thank God. Love my mum to bits. So I've been over there this afternoon. But before, you know, like, before that happened, like, I'd phoned my mum up and I was walking back to the home and I was telling her about this guy on this bicycle. I said, it's such weird behaviour. It was really funny in some ways, you know, like what he was doing. And it was really, really strange. And then, just as I kind of finished talking about this bloke, I think I'd only finished talking about 1 or 2 minutes ago, and he comes right in front of me with his bicycle again. And I'm like, hi. And he said, hi. And I thought, that's just weird, because I didn't know I was going to be there at that specific time, because I actually didn't, like, go back the way I came, the exact way. Well, I did go back partly the way I came, but not fully. And, you know, and it was a random time, because he wouldn't have known the time I was going to be there. I'd only just seen it, you know, he'd only seen me. I don't think he knew me before then, because he wouldn't have turned around in the parking. He wouldn't have turned around in the car MOT place and looked at me if he'd already know what I look like. All he got is a back glimpse of me. That's why he needed to see me from the front, right? And so yeah, it was just so weird. Like, I saw him again in the same day. really, really, really strange. So yeah, it's weird, and I felt good though. It felt good to have like a real man in that sense of like strong, knows like what he wants and going for it. You know, and I kind of guess that, you know, sexuals do have some qualities that I like, in the sense that, you know, they're like, yeah, I see something, I go for it. I'm not saying I agree with their reason for going, because clearly he was going for it because he liked my body, he liked the way I looked in my face and stuff, you know. So clearly, sorry, a photograph fell down. So you know, clearly he's going, you know, from he liked what he saw at the back, and then we saw the front. He's like, oh, I really like that. I want to get some of it, if you know what I mean. So he's doing it for sexual reasons, which isn't great, you know. I just wish more and more asexual guys would have that sort of courage and conviction and confidence, you know, and would take more action to actually ask a person out on a date and actually, you know, really like see something and go for it a bit more in that way. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing, you know, it's kind of sad in a way that it seems to be that, you know, if someone's not sexual, then they're not pursuing, they're not really determined, they're not really, you know, to be in a relationship type of thing. There's not so much urgency there. It's kind of like, well, I'm asexual, then there's, you know what I mean? And I think that's a little bit sad, to be honest, because I don't think it should be just because sex is involved that you really, really want a partner and you really, really want to make it work, you know? I think it should be that you want to find your asexual soulmate. You want to find the love of your life. You really, really want to make it work because you value their deep and utter friendship in your soul, because you value them as a person, because you really love spending time with them, and you can't fathom what it'd be like for them to be with someone else and you not to be in a relationship with them in the future, and you do want that person to be you know. And I think, you know, there's a lack of focus on that, you know. Sexuals, they see what they want, they go for it, right? I do admire that about sexuals, you know. And I admire the fact they do have some pursuit, you know, and I admire the fact, you know, that the thing is that it's the wrong reasons to me, you know, but I admire the fact that they're like that, you know. And I just wish there was more asexuals that would really, how can I put it, that would really see the beauty and value in each other more in terms of relationship, and really put more effort, more energy into getting and having a relationship. Those people that want to be in a relationship. I'm not talking about aromantic asexuals who don't experience any romantic attraction or sexual attraction and don't want to be in a relationship, right? But obviously friendships then are the utmost importance. But I'm talking about, as this is like talking about dating, and he invited me out for a date, you know, I actually like that, you know. I wished an asexual guy would come up and say, hey, let's go for a date, you know, would you like to go ask me, would you like to go for a date with me? I'd absolutely love it if an asexual guy, like in the UK, obviously someone I can actually meet. You know, I had a video chat with one of my Indian friends today, and he's not asexual. We've known each other online for about 3 years, and you know, he's always fancied me, he's always liked me, and he is like my age range, you know. He's 28 now, so we've known each other about 3 years. And you know, he says, oh, you're cute and stuff like that, and we do have some sort of connection, soul type of connection. But I was explaining today, in a relationship, you know, I want a soulmate, and I don't know him well enough to ever be soulmates with him in that way. But I know we have like some soul connection. We kind of always have had a little bit. I know that, you know, because I was saying, oh, I haven't met my Indian asexual soulmate yet, which I believe I have. And he goes, oh, well, I'm that person, like soulmate. He's not even asexual, right? Not that I know of. But he's, you know, he's very into women, or used to be very into women, you know. So you know, he can't, you know, I don't believe it's him. I think there's someone else out there, you know. This guy I'll probably never meet in my life, you know. He wouldn't have the finances come over, and he's not in a position to do that. I don't think he'd want to, you know. I think it's more of a romance thing he's got for me, some heart, like, soft thing for me, you know. But it's nice, obviously, because I do feel something for him. But you know, and he was saying to me today about, oh, you're cute like your rabbit. I said, you mean guinea pig? He's like, yeah, you're cute like her. I said, oh, thank you. So I thought that's really sweet, you know. And so we do get on really well, and it's really, you know, like he's the ideal age for me, right? You know, like 28's really good age for me, obviously, but he's not over here and he won't be over here. Probably never. I'll probably never meet him in my life, which is a sad thing. But you know, it's not sad in the sense I don't think he is my soulmate. I just have some sort of soul connection. We've always had a little bit, you know, and maybe that is because he's Indian that we've actually had that little bit, you know. But I mean, this guy who asked me out on date, he's not Indian. But you know, if he'd been asexual, right, and he done what he did, and I knew he was definitely asexual, he wasn't, you know, like just after all women, which probably most of them are, I probably would have said, yeah, why not? You know, let's give it a try, even though he's not really my type normally. Because, you know, I think sometimes it's good to try different things, you know, especially as he's older. I don't usually go with an older British guy, you know. I think it would have been quite interesting because he looked like he was more mature in that way, you know, more mature than the other guys I would usually go for, and stronger, I think. But you know, he's probably after all the women, and that's not a good thing. And he's not asexual, and I'm not interested in sex. So, you know, and I just, you know, like, and I don't know him either. You know, I don't want to be just, you know, randomly seeing people. I'm really happy in my life right now. You know, I love being single. I'm really, really focused on business stuff at the moment, on my career. I still, you know, if, you know, I still like to meet my Indian asexual soulmate. If I'm honest, I'd absolutely love that. But I think that's coming in the future. You know, he doesn't have to be Indian, like I said, but, you know, it'd be nice if just more asexual guys, you know, would ask me out on a date, you know. So anyway, my Indian friend who's not asexual, he goes, oh, I'll ask you out on a date. But, you know, I said, well, you have to come over to the UK, won't you? He goes, oh, no, it could be like an India. I didn't say, well, like an India. I'm like, I'm not coming to India. So if a guy wants me, you can come and get me in my country. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's just like, but he did actually say, oh, yeah, I'll ask you out on a date, because I told him I've been asked already. It's so funny. So I've been asked out twice for a date today, but once actually in reality in person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could have been possible, because he was deadly serious, this guy. Deadly serious. And I thought it was nice to actually get asked those words. I'd like to go out on a date with you, because then you know their intention. What I don't like is a guy that doesn't state his intention, and you don't know where the hell you are with him. Do you know what I mean? If someone says about an actual date, you know they've got the intention that they fancy you, they're attracted to you, they're romantically interested in you, right? And I think I prefer that. I like a guy who's upfront and saying, this is a date, I want to date you. Do you know what I mean? It's more like you know where you stand. You know that it's to do with romance. You know that it's to do with feelings. You know that it's to do with attraction. But obviously, it's no go with him because he's heterosexual. He's probably really highly heterosexual as well, you know? And so, you know, he didn't even bat an eyelid though when I said I don't like sex. You know, I'm asexual. He didn't bat an eyelid. All he said was, I'm not asking for sex. I'm asking you for coffee. You know what I mean? I thought, I don't think he's hearing me. I don't think he is hearing the word asexual and don't like sex. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's hearing it. I think he was so in awe of talking to me, couldn't believe he was actually going through emotions, asking me, focused on that particular time in the moment coffee. And he's probably thinking, I'm a heterosexual girl. I'm not, but that's probably what he's thinking. She's a heterosexual girl who just isn't into sex that much like loads of women. And that's great. But no, obviously I said I'm asexual, but I don't think he was hearing that. I think he was so caught up in the moment that when I said I don't like sex and I'm asexual, he wasn't really taking it in. All he instantly said was the fact, well, I haven't asked you for sex. I've asked you for a coffee. You know, and then I said, well, no, but because it would lead to sex and I'm not interested in that. So I have to go for my appointment. And that was it. So, yeah, it's been a very interesting day. You know, it's like, wow, actually someone's saying, oh, I want to date you, basically. And I did like that. I think it's good. You know, it feels good to actually have someone who's interested in me. And I just wished there was more asexual guys who were like that. A lot of my asexual friends, they're into guys, not women. The ones that are into women, you know, like me and them are not suitable to be in a relationship together. They want different things. And so, you know, it's just like kind of crazy. And, you know, it's just a bit sad when you are asexual and you've got sexuals after you, it's like, why can't you get asexuals? I'm sure there are plenty of asexuals out there. I'm sure there are tons of asexuals around the globe thinking exactly the same thing. I'd love a girlfriend. I'd love a boyfriend. I'd love to go out in a relationship. You know, it's just kind of finding each other, isn't it? You know, because it's so vast in the world. And I do notice that because sex is not involved, like people are not so, you know, they're not so into pursuing, they're not so enthusiastic and about really like I really, you know, like really wanting a relationship. Theoretically they are, but they're not actually taking the action to put that into practice. They're saying I want a girlfriend or boyfriend, but they're not actually doing many steps towards getting that. And I think that's sad. I think some of it is to do with inexperience. I think some of it is to do with just lack of will. You know, it's like, well, I'm all right on my own, so I don't need it, you know. And of course you're all right on your own. It's good to have that attitude, but do you know what I mean? There are benefits to being in a relationship as well. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's like obviously when your family grow old and they're no longer here, it's like it's nice to have someone, do you know what I mean, to be in a relationship with, if they're the right person for you. That companionship's really nice. The taking care of each other emotionally is really nice. The doing things together is really nice. Being best friends together is lovely. You know, and so I think it's very difficult if you're a romantic asexual, especially, and you really strongly desire a romantic relationship, that a lot of the time you are going to come across situations where you're going to be with a sexual person, like dating them, in a relationship with them, thinking about getting with someone who's sexual. I mean, my Asexual Sex Stories book that's coming out is really amazing, and it will share a lot of insider thoughts and secrets and advice on, you know, basically, you know, like whether sex is any good as an asexual person with a sexual, you know, what it feels like to have sex as an asexual person, like, you know, the kind of like what you've got to look out for, how you've got to prepare for it and stuff like that, you know, physically and mentally, emotionally, if you're going to have sex, and you know how it's going to work out, that, you know, with you with a sexual, if you were to have sex, even if it's infrequently, how would that work? And so this book is going to be amazing. It's Asexual Sex Stories book. I think it's going to sell double of my Asexual Perspectives, but my Asexual Perspective sells regularly anyway, you know. And so I just think it's going to be an incredible book. It's really insightful. The stories I've got so far back are just like, wow. It's just very, you know, really get into the minds of asexuals and how they really think and feel about sex and what it's really like for them when they have it, you know. It's kind of like really powerful. And so yeah, I just hope that more asexuals get confident about basically get really clued up on what they really want in life and what type of relationship they want to go for, so that they're a lot more stronger when they're coming to wanting to be in a relationship, you know, to take the bull by the horn. You know, you've got to be very kind of serious and sure when you want to get into a long committed relationship. You've got to really take action and pursue dating, getting to know each other, meeting up, you know, sharing thoughts together, feelings together, emotions together, sharing places together, going out and spending time together, to really fathom out if they're the right person for you. But if you don't take any action to even do that and get out of your comfort zone, you won't find the person or be in a relationship when you really strongly crave it. And that would be a tragedy, wouldn't it? It'd be a tragedy to go from this world knowing that you really wanted a relationship, but you didn't pursue that because you were too scared. That's what I'm trying to say. And don't be scared. Everything is scary, but, you know, find out what you really want, narrow down exactly what you want in a relationship. You know, when you see another asexual at a meetup, for example, you see someone online, maybe they're in the same country as you, hopefully could travel to them, you know, be prepared to take that leap of faith, to take risks more, and to try and actively pursue getting into a relationship as if you really want to, because, you know, that's the only time you should get into a relationship, when you really want a relationship, when you're really all for it, when you really want to put a lot of time, energy and effort into it, when you know it's the right thing for you to do, you know. Because when you know it's the right thing for you to do, be in a relationship, you will put your whole heart, you'll put your energy into it, your time into it, you'll really make it happen. If you've got another person that does the same, it will be explosively amazing in a good way, not in a sexual way. If you're asexual, you know, it'll be just like this wonderful meeting of beautiful souls that is like fireworks in the sparkly night, you know, with loads of Disney music. And it'll just be magical. It really will. And the thing is, it's easy to get into a relationship. It's hard to maintain it unless you've got that fighting spirit. Like, I want a relationship, you know? I really want to be in a relationship. I really want companionship. I really want a person. I really want this person in my life permanently, forever. You know, because that's the only person you should ever get into a relationship with, is someone you want to be in, you know, with for the rest of your life. You know, you can see yourself doing that. You can see yourself growing old with them. You can see yourself like being together forever. You know, and if you think that another person came along and you just like, you be in a position with them where you could be in a relationship with them, you wouldn't see them as much, you wouldn't spend as much time with them, because obviously they'd be in a relationship. You still be friends with them, you still see them somewhat, but you know they got someone else. But if you really believe you're the right person for that person, then step up to the plate and, you know, be that person you need to be strong, be bold, be brave, you know, and be consistent and persistent, you know. And, you know, once you've got into a relationship, do not take the other person for granted, because this is what happens. People take each other for granted. They get too comfortable with each other so that they just don't maintain the relationship anymore. They don't maintain the communication anymore. And one or more parties of the people start to feel disconnected from each other, and that's not a good thing. As asexuals, you know, you don't connect through sex in the normal way, and many asexuals don't have sex. The asexuals that do can feel some emotional connection with their partner by being so sexually close to them. So, but you know, on the whole, you know, we don't get that closeness through the sex. So we have to get it through some other way, like the deep soulmate kind of way, the deepest, bestest ever friendship, the sharing of secrets. So, you know, if you've got someone in your life right now, you just think, I couldn't be without them in my life. I just really need this person. They are the spark that ignites me. Whenever I'm around them, I feel amazing. To have them in my life is just incredible. I want this all my life. Why shouldn't I? I'm worth it, you know? Once you've got that type of person in front of you, don't be silly and let them go. You know, unless you're a bad person for them, which, you know, then you need to change and be a good person, because you wouldn't want to be a bad person anyway, you know. But, you know, really, really think about what you want. And if there's a person in front of you that's maybe your bestest ever friend for a long, long time, you know, and you really couldn't live without them, and if they got into a relationship with someone else, you think you'd be sad, you know, make that approach. Tell them how you feel. You know, what's the end of the day? The worst they can say is, no, I really don't want to get into a relationship with you, but thanks very much. I appreciate your feeling, you know. Just try it. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in this world. You know, I think about life and death quite a bit, in the sense of not as in the sense I want to live to be at least 100 or more, but also in the sense of, like, you know, if you were to, like, if the world was coming to an end right now, and you had to be, you know, you didn't have to be in a relationship, you wanted to be in a relationship with someone who in the world, who would it be and why? And imagine if you weren't with them, what would happen and how would you feel? You know, especially if they were with someone else and they weren't, you know, just close to you anymore. Like, how would you feel? And do you know what I mean? I think it's good to ask yourself these questions, because there might be someone in front of your very, very eyes who you're overlooking, who can love you just the way you want to be loved, and you them. So don't give up hope. Please keep your eyes peeled and your feelings peeled, as in, you know, be at one with your feelings, and, you know, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. And if you really love someone and value them, don't let them go through life. You know, be bold, be brave, approach them, tell them how you feel, and see how it goes. Anyway, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you want me to cover any topics to do with asexuality, relationships, dating, please leave it down below, comments down below, and I'll try and do another video for you. If you don't know already whether you're subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button. If it's not saying subscribe, you haven't subscribed yet, so please hit the great big subscribe button down below, and please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live, like right now, so you can talk to me and chat about anything live on the stream. And yeah, so subscribe, bell icon, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend who may benefit. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I will see you on the next video live stream. Really appreciate you being here. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye.